we now live in a world where there are syringe attacks.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
very, very weird thing. What brought you to this article? So there was a syringe attack at a music festival that had like 20 victims,
Yeah.
and it's like really bizarre. I mean, is this an Arab doing this? Am I guessing, or is it just somebody who's freaked out on drugs? Do we
In the
know who
articles
the
I found, they didn't disclose the person's identity, which
Oh,
like
Arab for sure
you
then?
know,
Yeah, okay, yeah,
this was a music festival in France, and it was like a dozen young women. I think they were between the ages of like 14 to 20,
yeah.
who were jabbed with a syringe. The suspect was taken into custody. This came up very shortly after I watched the Netflix documentary on the Astroworld debacle.
Oh,
And if you
that's
remember,
yeah, yeah.
right, and in the early hours of that story, there was this mass syringe attack event rumor, which I don't think was ever corroborated, but they thought, it's someone going around jabbing people with
I
drugs.
remember with drugs or something, right? Like
Yeah, again,
at that same show.
Right. I don't think it ever got corroborated, or if it happened, it was completely left behind to the mass suffocation event. But in this case, this music festival has all of these young people there, and it's specifically young women who were being jabbed. And it's hard for me not to think that this is going to continue to happen. I mean, it seems like such an easy copycat type thing. On the other hand, like, what is your motivation if you're walking around trying to like inject like a dozen young women? I mean, it seems kind of weird. I don't know what your take on this is.
So there's actually a connection to what has been going on in South Africa related to this. But I sent you another post from someone in France reporting that there was multiple arrests, 6 stabbed, 14 seriously injured, 145 reports of syringe attacks, and a lot of people reporting minor injuries in vehicles. And it looks like, the crowd is very diverse.
I see. Yeah.
It's very multicultural, according to European standards. So when I was doing my prep and research, and I was about to do a big kind of thing in South Africa, but then I got derailed by somebody. And when I was doing my research into South Africa, one thing I found out was that people in South Africa believe that if they have, AIDS, that if they inject themselves with a syringe and take out a little bit of blood and then inject people randomly with that blood, that they pass on the AIDS to somebody else, and therefore their AIDS is gone.
Do you ever see the movie It Follows?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Play the trailer if you can. But
It Follows is
in South Africa, when I was doing my security assessment, I was like, be careful, because people could like randomly prick you, and they prick you with AIDS needles to give you AIDS, because they believe that's how you transmit AIDS to away from yourself and give it to other people.
In the It Follows movie, I believe. So you were haunted, and the way you passed it from one person to another was like having sex with them, and then the haunting would pass that to that person, and you had like X amount of time before you got killed. And like I think one of the last guys was like, "Oh, I'll just hire some prostitutes," and then they died. I was like, and then that was the end of this. Like, just end. Then obviously it's like, oh shit, like it's gonna spread everywhere. But like, I actually liked the movie. I saw it in the theater, but yeah, I mean, this is so 371 arrests. I'm assuming for like rioting, 6 stabbings, but the 145 syringe attacks. I'd be interested to see like, was there AIDS in them? Like, what the hell? That'd be like diabolical.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they say that you were hospitalized. I mean, I assume you would do that either way, whether you were stabbed with AIDS or stabbed with a drug. Like, if you're hit with a mysterious syringe, hopefully you're getting medical attention. I mean, it's fascinating because this is sort of a tangent off what Luke is saying, but if it is arguably like, oh, this is a trend that's happening in one culture that believes it's a treatment for AIDS or whatever, to me, it almost parallels the spread of monkeypox. If you remember that, it was, it's in Africa already, but when it broke out in Europe, it was at a music festival. It was all tied to festivals and then spread across the world after that. I wonder if, I don't think you're going to prevent young people from going to large public gatherings. Like, unfortunately, the idea that you might get hit with a syringe or whatever, like, it's always going to be that happens to someone else. What I wonder about is if they are going to step up security measures or any other kinds of scrutiny, because if you are carrying a syringe, I assume you have to have more than one. I mean, unless you're hitting everybody with the same, all 140 people with the exact same syringe, like, surely someone would notice if someone was. I really don't know how you prevent this.
We don't know. Well, we don't know what kind of syringe it was. If it's like the comical one from like hospitals or one of the smaller ones, like a Lancet or something like that. You had someone in chat points out it could take 18 months for HIV to even show up in these people's drugs. Or in these systems. I'm guessing that they probably, I think there is a treatment that you can get if you've had contact with HIV or AIDS that can, if you get it like relatively quick, it will. I know it makes you really sick, and it's very,
antivirals.
Yeah, there is something that you can take that is pretty effective against contracting AIDS or HIV, which I'm sure they gave them. And if I'm one of those 145, I'm like, I'll take it all. Like, I don't know what the hell that. First of all, let's say it's just a needle. Well, you poke one guy, then you poke someone else. Now you don't know what that guy got. If you're number 145, that's like having sex with Bonnie Blue. Like, you don't know. You're getting you randomly take a blood sample from 145 people at a music festival. Someone's got something.
Do you think Bonnie Blue and Andrew Tate are going to end up together long term?
No, God, no. No. You
don't see a romance there?
No, I don't think any man would ever date her. And I think the content is funny and cheeky and whatever between them. But I genuinely believe that, like, Andrew Tate thinks she's a disgusting whore. Like that. I don't think he would. But then again, you never know. It might be for the memes. It might be for the just for the clicks, and they
would definitely be a very viral couple for sure.
I remember getting in a viral in both sense of the word.
Yep.
But remember, I don't know if you guys remember this, but like, people talk about the UK having fallen. France is actually worse. Yeah. I got in an argument with Mudahar from Some Ordinary Gamers, where I sent it because he's a Muslim invader into Canada from some other country. And I was like, that's normal. It was like a picture of a street in France, and there was like 1,000 people on prayer rugs, and like the traffic couldn't even get through. He's like, what's wrong with people practicing their religion? I'm like, bro, you're the only one that doesn't see a problem with this. And like, I proceeded to then pummel him for 6 straight hours, quote tweeting him with horrible, diversity crimes that were happening in France. Do you remember the before.
2016 attack on a priest in Normandy?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's brutal. It's really bad. And I remember reading the coverage of that and being like, wow, this happens to Christians in Egypt.
It just happened to Christians in Syria Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But some guy went in there and blew himself up.
This can sound as racist as it needs to be. Like, you don't think of Europe being the same as Syria, but it is more and more all the time. And that's in part because France was really open to mass migration and saw it as, some wonderful gift. And I don't think you should condemn all immigrants, but I think the reality is pretending like everybody is the same and that everyone is good and it has great intentions is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I will take in 2 native-born people from France and 2 native-born people from the UK, females only. I will give refuge to 4 individuals. I feel bad for these people, but then like the hardliners are like, "This is what they voted for." It's like, yeah, but is it? Is it though? It's certainly not what at least half the country voted for.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's sad that they all have to pay the price for it, Yeah.
Well, I look at I mean, they get these Muslim governors and Muslim leadership. Look what's happening. You don't think this is going to be New York? Mehdi Hassan is leading in a poll against Andrew Cuomo.
Good.
Like, granted, they're both garbage, but like, they're going to have a Muslim. Yeah, right. Well, they're going to have a Muslim socialist as their mayor. You're like, are you kidding me? New York is going to be like, if this Mehdi Hassan guy wins, New York will be the UK in 5 years, maybe sooner. And
but
like,
maybe that's the only way for the young people or the elite people in New York to learn. It sounds really bad, but
it means property prices in Miami are going to go up.
Yeah.
I've just heard so many of like, the stereotypical Brooklyn, like college educated, wealthy, but doing whatever person say like to idealize socialism and then have this candidate be like, oh, well, that's cool. See, that's even more progressive and this is great. And I want to be like, you have no idea what's coming and you have no appreciation of the history of this political movement to understand the consequences. And unfortunately, the downside is that other native, hardworking, totally normal New Yorkers will pay the price.
Yeah, the rich people will just leave. They'll just move to the suburbs. Like, I remember famously Casey Neistat, one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, dared to tweet that somebody broke into his car and stole his drone and camera. And then Seth Rogen chastised him and was like, what are you complaining about? My car gets broken in all the time. One time somebody left a cool knife behind. It's like, yeah, when you're worth $50 million, a $45 window repair isn't a big deal. But for the rest of the world, they may be living paycheck to paycheck. That means they have to make a choice between food and fixing their window. That means those are the people that are driving around with a garbage bag over their car window for the next 3 months, so rain doesn't get in it until they can afford to fix it. It's like these people, like if they vote in Cuomo or Mehdi Hassan, New York just gets whatever they deserve, whatever they get, because they're not going to vote for a Republican, are they? I mean, this is just the primaries.
Yeah.
So presumably these guys will run against a Republican.
But it's such a Democratic stronghold. I mean, I think Republicans make gains in the boroughs and they make gains in some of the surrounding suburbs of New York City, but I don't know that New York City will see a Republican mayor anytime soon.
Yeah.
So you're going to get
City deserves.
That's what I said. I agree.
Let's give it to them. Whoever Husani, whatever his name is, let's go.
Yeah,
let's vote for him. And then all the good New Yorkers are going to come to Miami, make it more right wing, and Miami is going to be more of a New York safe haven. And I like that idea. And New York City has been through a lot of crap. And if they want more crap, let them vote for it. Have more crap.